Hey, I'm Brian Trifon of Trifonic and also Finishing Move. It's been a long time. It's been about 12 years. I'm a little older. And yeah, so just to quickly fill you in, I've spent most of my time in the last decade plus with the company Finishing Move, which I co-own, and we compose a lot of music for video games. So most recently we did Doom, The Dark Ages, and then the Callisto Protocol, Grounded, Grounded 2, which is coming out soon, Borderlands 3, Halo Wars 2, and many others. So it's been great. It's been very busy, but I'm very excited to also have some new Trifonic music. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the Hyperreality EP. It's out now. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the title track, Hyperreality, and particularly the guitar parts and guitar processing, because that's sort of what I find interesting about it. So let's dive in. So there's two things going on here. There's just the main chord progression played on my Telecaster. So it's this, D minor with some added open strings. So you have the add 9, add 11, and then here we've got an A minor, C major 7. All that stuff doesn't really matter. This part here is just those same chords from the same guitar part as pads. And so I did that using Michael Norris's Spectral Drone Maker. And then I had to sort of cut each chord separately and move it into time, because the Spectral Drone Maker process, it has a really long buffer, so it moves things a lot later. And then what happens is, as we get into it, you hear that pad gets chopped up. And that's against the original guitar part. And so what's doing the chopping here is a plugin called Shaperbox 3, which I absolutely love. So let me just sort of show you what's going on there. It's basically like a rhythmic envelope. So it's just controlling the volume, and I have it set to 2 bars, and it's this pattern that slows down. And as it's playing, I have the master mix, so the wet dry, I'm writing that, automating it. I'll go back to where we were here. And then that's followed by a compressor, because when you do these volume chops, it can kind of make it really quiet and not have tons of impact. So it's followed by a compressor and another really cool plugin that's called Stab. I think that's how you say it. And this one I'm using pretty extreme settings. It's basically like a multi-band transient shaper, and I'm really boosting each band a lot. And then I kind of adjust the wet dry. But this just makes a really pronounced attack. So one of the things I like to do is just sometimes work against the click track and figure out guitar layers and create as many parts as I can. So in this case, I have that Telecaster part and the gated pads, and then a lead part comes in right here. Sort of pedaling on open E. It's just like a good feeling. And then it's going to transition here into a different rhythmic gated part. And then with the reverse guitars we've got down here. So I'll show you this rhythmic gated part here. Again, it's Shaperbox that's doing this. Here's the main part of the pattern here. And then you can also see it it's multiband. So this is the main part, and then above 15K is this faster, crazy envelope here. And I'll solo that, so you can just hear, it just provides a tiny amount of texture. So you just get a little bit more movement with it. And then also, envelope on the width, envelope on the pan, more compression. And you know, with all of these gated rhythmic sounds, it kind of requires a lot of compression. Used OTT to just smash it a little bit. And this stab plugin, it's just that multiband transient plugin to just really, I cranked up every parameter a bunch here. But the wet dry is pretty low, but I'll let you hear how extreme it can get. And when you crank it like this and then you compress it, sometimes you get all kinds of weird rhythms out of it that aren't even, like they're not even there. It just brings out stuff. It forces it to be rhythmic. But this sound sounded best like a little bit more dry. The other cool part in this section, I like this serum sound. I made this with the spectral oscillator. It's really cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Sometime I can dive more into that. And then with the rhythmic gates, I have that bass, like this synth sub bass doing that. And as we get into the next section, the sort of trancey section, I have a bunch of basses doing this kind of stuff. Let's see, let me get all of them. This is like, again, live electric bass with rhythmic gating. And then there's another one here that's like just this, I don't know how to describe this, fluttery bass. Here, everything is heavily rhythmic gated. So like probably the main part here. All right, it's these two different processes. One of them I used Shaperbox to create the envelope, and the other one I created a similar envelope in Gatekeeper, which is a plugin by Polyverse. Kind of does the same sort of thing. It just, they sounded different, so I comp between these two versions. And then let me see what else we have. Let's put these together. So some of them play a little bit at odds with each other. Like it's not all exactly synced, but that vibe was just kind of working for me. And here's the kind of main melody part here. And this one I did the gating with Gatekeeper. I printed it just because I did a whole bunch of processing. Again, just with stab and compression. Yeah, I like this vibe along with guitar. Very euphoric. I thought it was unique sounding, and then all together. Also some guitar harmonics in here at the top. Let's see where they are. Just to move it along. So I thought that stuff was pretty cool. So anyway, it goes on through the whole track, it does all its stuff, and at the end, it goes back to this first section. So anyway, thanks for checking this out. I'm happy to do some more videos, more in depth on some of the details of these pieces if people are interested. It's been a long time since I've done this. So, you know, the world's changed a lot. I started doing some of these YouTube videos in 2009, and now, like, the audio production YouTube world is huge. It's crazy. I watch stuff all the time. I learn stuff all the time. So it's great to sort of dip my toe back in there a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're interested in learning about, if there's anything in these tracks that stick out to you. It's cool. And yeah, hopefully I'll do more of these and you won't have to wait 12 years for the next one. All right, thanks.